25 years of this research, working with over 600 plus cases of abductions, we have found that the name and authority of Jesus Christ and a personal relationship with him can not only stop this experience, but terminate it as a life pattern. Absolutely terminate it as a life pattern. There's no other name out there, not Krishna, not Buddha, not Allah, not Muhammad, not any other name will stop this experience as a life pattern. It may stop the experience at a single moment, but there's always a trade for it. But it's not something that will stop it as a life pattern. Only the name and authority of Jesus Christ will do that. And a real relationship with him. You've got to shut those doors. And that's what this is all about. This is a war for your soul. And this is the most important thing that people need to understand. This is a war that the enemy is perpetrating upon humanity. But at the same time, believers in Jesus Christ are sitting on the most powerful weapon in the universe. That authority through the name and authority of Jesus Christ. That name is a name above all names. There's not an entity out there that name will not put in its place. We were Mufon field investigators, the original group. And as we were researching and following up investigations on UFOs, we were also holding our monthly meetings and encountering people who claimed that they were abduction experiencers. Well, as we started putting one and one together equals two, we started realizing that if these people were claiming that they were in contact with the people or the entities or beings on the ships, then wouldn't it make more sense to investigate them than following up with a sighting report? Because these people, to me, were frontline. And that's where the research needed to go if we were going to find true answers on this phenomenon. So we decided to set up a separate entity and make sure that all of our findings were always available for peer review and for anybody that wanted to look at them. So they've always been there on the internet for people to look at. Right after we started into all of this, we came across an unusual case where a gentleman during his experience said that he had stopped the experience while it was happening. And we had to take a look at this. And as I went and talked to these leading researchers, nice people like myself, you can call them and talk to them. I shared the case with them. And that's when I found out that they also had come across cases where people had stopped the experience. Mm. And what was interesting was the way that the experience had been stopped. This gentleman that I had come across, that we had taken his testimony, he said that he had called out in the name and authority of Jesus Christ, said, "Jesus, Jesus, help me." And experience abruptly stopped and he woke up in bed. Well, these leading researchers, off the record, they told me that they too had come across similar cases where people had either hummed a hymn or sang a hymn or quoted scripture or something of the sort, and the experience stopped. And I said, "But you guys said that this couldn't be stopped." And they said, well, their answers were, "We didn't know what to make of it." And I would have been fine with that, except that they had to go and give me another excuse. And it said the excuse was, we were afraid to go there because it might affect our credibility in the UFO research community. What we came across with this gentleman was, yes, this did happen this way with him. And because I now know that there are more cases out there, I put myself and CE4 Research in a position where we went looking for those testimonies like this one, the first one we had. And sure enough, they started coming in because now people had somebody to share it with. Because these secular researchers didn't want to hear it. No. They weren't going to publicize it. They weren't going to share that this was a piece of the UFO puzzle that needed to be looked at. So I did gather these pieces. And that's what CE4 research has been doing all these years, is we've been gathering these testimonies of people that have been able to stop this experience, not just while it's happening by calling on the name and authority of Jesus Christ, but by continuing to make it stop as a life pattern. As we started posting these testimonies of people being able to stop the experience and get their lives back through a relationship with Jesus Christ, emails started showing up that caught us off guard. And those were, can you help us? Can you help me? I had to answer them by saying, well, with what we have found in these testimonies that we have posted and the work that we have done, yes, I believe that this same thing will help you. So what we have here is something else that the UFO community doesn't have, and that's repeatability. Because working with the scientific method, you should be able to show that you can repeat the event. Okay? There's no repeatable event in ufology, but this. Because if somebody says, I saw your testimonies where people have said they've stopped this in the name and authority of Jesus Christ, can you help me? Well, if I show them what they did, and if you follow what they did, it should work for you. And it does. I don't bring you fuzzy pictures or fuzzy videos of UFOs. I bring you hard evidence, and I bring the testimonies themselves up on stage. I bring these people to the stage in living person so that these people watching this can ask them questions themselves. Don't trust me. Don't ever trust me. Trust the evidence that I bring you, because the evidence will speak for itself. The evidence that these people's lives have been changed from being destroyed from this experience to being able to get their lives back through a relationship with Jesus Christ. That is the evidence of what's truly behind this experience. That is the evidence that I can bring you that's real, that you can touch, that you can talk to, that you can relate to. But you know what happens when I bring those people to the stage? When I say test the evidence, nobody will talk to them.
Mm.
You know why? Because they're afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid that that will be the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that truth is going to make them change, which is what